Tanya, in the past, I was with EXP Realty, but I left that to try to go back and play in my commercial world and do, this business brokerage that's out there in cyberspace. And what stirred me up here in Lacey is my voice over IP company just closed their deal the other day. Phone.com, which is a highly marketable domain. They just sold, or OOMA acquired them. And
Mm-hmm.
at one point, I was trying to chisel through the door to get the CEO to talk with me because I knew they were just at the stagnant point. But
Yeah.
yeah, okay, move on. Try to learn from it. So, is there a referral network that your group has? Or just look at the EXP commercial and just call one up, or hey, I've got this kind of business client that I've been working with over here because I did reinstate my licenses where I have made sales is life insurance, buy sales, buy sell funding, and retirement 401k rollovers. I'm a limited representative, so I'm not an IER.
Mm-hmm.
But those are the things I do. Is the what do you do after you sell the business? What are you gonna do with that chunk of change?
Yeah.
So, those are things that I'm looking for, and specifically in clients, and not necessarily as much looking for referrals to get a referral commission as just finding a network to work with and say, look, I play tennis. I'll send you a lead. You send me a lead. But
Yeah.
if it has to be more formalized, then that's fine. Securities can't, real estate. I can't pay commission unless your securities license. So,
Mm-hmm.
hey, we can exchange leads, can't we?
Well, I think in business brokerage is a little different, but you're right. Like for insurance and if somebody refers you a client for insurance or for financial advisory services and all that between FINRA and the insurance um, Department of Insurance, most of the time you can't pay referral fees
Yeah, yeah,
for those services and unless it's to somebody else that has the same license, so
sure, yeah.
licensing. So, but for business sales, we can pay
There's no,
referral fees all day long. We
yeah,
just can't pay, like I can't pay a referral fee to an accountant, to a
yeah,
CPA, or to an attorney or to a financial advisor because they're only allowed to accept them from people licensed like them, right? So CPA can only accept a referral fee from a CPA. Financial advisor, same thing. So,
hmm
but if a client, let's say I sell a business and then the client refers me two of his golfing buddies that want to sell their businesses, I can pay him a referral fee on those.
hmm
No
Well, kind
problem.
of what I'm wanting to do is I talk to the business owners and they say I'm thinking about selling, and then I'll just say, well, are you ready to wrap that up in a nice little package and have somebody broker it, or are you just going to leave it laying here until it rots? Do you want to sell it? If that's what you're thinking, because when I get into discussion with life insurances, all spectrum of life insurance, it's not just one policy. It's term, it's, cash value, retirement, whatever you want to talk. It's
Yeah.
full spectrum, multiple policies when you're talking with business owners. And like, well,
Yeah.
we're ready to sell. Okay. Who are you going to talk to? You going to let somebody broker it for you, or are you going to hit the ground running? You can sell your pipe fittings out here, but do you know how to sell your business?
Yeah.
I just
Yeah. And I
I
think
talked to a
that,
hardware store and he basically flopped on me the other day. I mean, he just told me what he really truly doesn't know.
mm, I think sometimes what I do with business owners is I just say, how much longer are you going to work? How much longer do you want to work in your business? And most of the time, the answer, if they're retirement age, most of the time the answer is 5 years.
Hmm
And if you leave it at that and you run into them 2 years later and you say, hey, how much longer are you going to work in your business? The answer is still 5 years. Because you got to follow it up with, well, what steps are you taking to get your business ready for sale?
Yeah.
And if they say, what do you mean? Which is the typical response, what do you mean? then it's about education. And it's like, look at, if you were going to sell your car, you'd at least get the 10-year-old kid next door to get the garden hose and hose it down, right? And,
Hmm.
you're going to clean it up before you put it on the market. Business is no different. Probably largest asset you own. Books and records need to be in order. If you're a sole decision maker, the business is super owner centric, that's going to be a problem for a buyer. So there are things you can do if you truly want to work in the business another 5 years. You really need an exit plan, right? You need a
Hmm.
plan you can implement so that you're making progress, so that you're positioning your business ready to sell, so that you can get out in 5 years.
Yeah.
Otherwise, your 5 years is going to turn into 10 and 15,
And it's all
and the
because they
business
didn't get
value
around to it.
declines. Right. And the whole time the business value starts declining because they get burned
Hmm.
out. They're disinterested. They cut off their marketing. Some of them just shut down, close the doors. Some of them run into health problems, and then they can't sell it, and because they're on a short time frame and it's not ready. So
Yeah.
yeah. But I
Exact
but I
scenario
think
is what you're talking about there is, what are you doing for marketing? We're not doing any marketing. We got our sign out there in the front. We changed the words on it. Mm.
yeah.
See you at the
Yeah.
bottom of the Atlantic Ocean on my next diving trip when I can go down that low, man.
Well, and then you can always ask him, what was the revenue at the peak of the business? What was the high point for the business?
Yeah. Oh, I've tried. Honestly, I want to say I tried that conversation a month ago, and I just wanted to give up on humanity when I got his pitch. Uh, it is a lost cause, Captain. We're not going to survive this one.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? I mean, at the end of the day, we're trying to help people and who don't know, they don't know what they don't know.
Yeah,
And we're trying to help them and provide them with information and education, but not everybody is open to it. Not everybody wants it, and that's okay.
yeah,
Like, if they don't want it, and it's like, okay, you know, I'm here if you ever change your mind and
yeah.
you want some information, just reach out to me. Yeah, I'm happy to try and steer you in the right direction.
Sure.
That's all you can do.
Well, that's what I just like to add in there when I hear that out of them. When what's your plans and your retirements? Oh, we're ready to sell. Okay. What are you doing? It's
Yeah.
trying not to chase multiple squirrels and say, okay, have a good day, bye. I got to dig a little deeper because nobody wants to buy
Well,
life
you have to. I
insurance.
mean, if they say they're ready to sell, it's like, oh, great. What steps have you taken to prepare your business for the market?
Yeah, I showed up this morning, so
So yeah, I think, again, they don't know what they don't know. I mean, most business owners, especially the baby boomers, built businesses over 20, 30, 40 years. Well, actually 30, 40 years. And
mm,
so, if they built that business, that's their identity, that's their life. It's been wrapped up into that. They've never sold a business before. So they don't really
mhm,
understand how complex it can get.
yeah,
And there's a lot of there's a ton of courses out there and information out there on starting a business. How do you start a business? Here's what you need to do. Here's the checklist. How to grow a business, all of that. But and now there's a lot more information than there used to be on exits, how to
mhm,
exit from the business, but still not as still not as prevalent as the other two. So
yeah,
really, there's just tons of business growth coaches, and you can have a business plan. Everybody knows you're supposed to have a business plan when you start a business. Well, but when you exit from the business, it's best if you have a plan, but most don't.
nope.
You
I'm a
definitely
score
will.
mentor. Now, what's your plan? Don't have one. Oh yeah, I wrote one of those a long time ago. Okay,
Yeah,
let's knock the dust off of it. How about it?
yeah.